and thanks for joining us for our in-service on this MicroScan autoSCAN 4 instrument. Our objectives for this in-service include, at the completion of this presentation, laboratory students will be able to perform MIC panel testing on the Siemens MicroScan autoSCAN 4 independently 100% of the time. Students will also be able to print their results from the Siemens MicroScan autoSCAN 4 independently 100% of the time. So the first thing we're going to do is click or open the patient order entry icon, and that is the third in from the left, and then we're going to double click the boxes to fill in the text. So first we're going to do the specimen number, and then we'll do the patient ID that consists of the accession number, the student ID number, and the year. Next, we're going to fill in yesterday's date. So to fill in yesterday's date, you're going to click into the collect date box, type in -1, and then when you enter into that, it will autofill in yesterday's date. And then we're going to click into the last name box and type in the last name of our patient, and our sample patient's last name is Jackson. Next, we are going to fill in our source information. So how we're going to do that is we're going to double click on this little corner button in the top right corner of our box, and it'll bring up this drop down menu. We can scroll through this menu and select the source that this isolate came from. In our case, it was urine, so we just scroll down and select urine. In the isolate box, we're going to designate if your isolate was 1 or 2 based on what you put on your culture report form. And then we're going to order our panel by selecting in the corner of the order box. And then we'll select the type of panel we'll be reading, and you'll be able to find that in the top left-hand corner of your MIC panel. The next part is where it gets a little tricky, and it is different based on if your isolate is a gram-positive or a gram-negative. So if your isolate is a gram-negative, like ours was in this instance, you're going to skip over this organism and family box and go straight to the oxidase box. Once you click in that corner, it'll bring up this drop-down menu, and then you'll select if your oxidase test that you ran prior to the MIC panel was positive or negative. Ours was negative, so we're just going to put that. If your organism was gram-positive, you would go into this organism box. It would bring up a similar drop-down menu, and you would select the genus of your organism. And after all of that is said and done, you're going to select this Accept Isolate button. So then we're going to verify that all our information is correct, and then click this icon up here that is the Read Selected Test Group. Once you select that button, you're going to take a chem wipe and wipe off the bottom of your MIC panel. You're just wiping away any condensation that might be there or any fingerprints. And then you're going to place it on the autoSCAN tray with the information of the panel on the top left corner. After you click that icon, this window will pop up. You select Final Read, and then click the Read button on the instrument. After you select Read and your instrument takes your MIC panel, a few seconds later it will have read your panel, and it'll give you a printout of what it thinks the organism is. So it'll give you the % probability and what organism. In this instance, it thought that it had a 99.99 probability of this isolate being Escherichia coli. In the bottom portion of this printout, it also has some other information about what tests it ran to get to this conclusion. So after you get your results, if you need to print out this data, you are going to select Control-P on your keyboard, and it'll bring up this little box. And then in this box, you are going to select this Processed Panel Data. You'll select OK, and then you will click this little Save button in the top left corner. After that's all said and done, this box is going to appear. You're going to remove your MIC panel and then select Yes, and this is going to close the drawer. After that, you're going to select this print report icon, and then it'll bring up a box that has a search type. You're going to fill in your specimen ID and then select print. And then that is it. That is how you're going to use and operate the MicroScan autoSCAN 4 instrument.